This is a Model 3 standard range. This is a Model Y long range. And one of the things that's not obvious when you're buying either of these cars are the charging speed. You're gonna look at the suspension and what wheels you're gonna get and what interior you're gonna get, but a lot of people aren't looking at the charging speeds. This has approximately a 54 kilowatt hour battery pack. This has approximately a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. This has a max charging speed of 170 kilowatts. This has a max charging speed of 250 kilowatts. I've actually seen this get to 252 on a V3 charger. So we're gonna put it on these V3 chargers, and I'm gonna show you the difference in charging speed between a standard range and a long range going up to 80%. Also, this video is sponsored by Minu Energy. We'll talk a little bit about them shortly, but let's jump into it. We're going to be recording the charging speed from 5 to 10% and then 10% increments all the way up to 80 for both of these cars. So we're currently getting 112 kilowatts of charging, which is 400, almost 500 miles per hour. So not quite what it can do. Normally it can do over 1,000 miles per hour. Battery's just heating up to get to the optimal speed. Interested to see what the difference is, and this information will be useful because when you're taking road trips and things like that, charging speed matters. Also, having a lighter weight car and a smaller battery, I think that's gonna help it charge even faster, but I'm interested to see which of these gets the faster charging speed. You can see here we're up to 190, almost 200 kilowatts, 800 miles per hour. We should hit 250, I would think. Yeah, so we're at 1 minute and 18 seconds, almost at 10%. And we're just gonna do a lap every time we get there. And I'll make some charts for you guys that are easy to look at. You can see we just hit 250 kilowatt charging speed, 1,047 miles per hour. There we go, 251. Yeah, sometimes it'll go slightly above. I'm interested to see if it'll do 252. And that's the thing, like with the Tesla network, like it's consistently this good. Like you can see there's a bunch of chargers here being used, and we're still able to achieve peak charging speed. It won't be for long, but when you get to like Electrify America and these other ones, they're just not as fast. So being able to get peak speed while they're almost full is really impressive. Also, something we're noticing here, we're not gonna show faces, because that's not what we do here on the Science Channel, but there's a girl and her boyfriend in front of us, and she's just been on her phone like this the whole time, just smiling. You know she's texting her side man. That's what she's doing. That's why she's happy. He doesn't make her happy, but the side man does. We might have to do some investigative work to figure out who he is. Another thing to point out to you guys, so this is the supercharger we're at, East Mayo Boulevard. You can see the charging rates for hours. So yeah, it does get expensive during the high traffic hours, but if you're doing it early in the morning or late at night, it's very, I mean, this is 14 cents per kilowatt hour is what it costs for me to charge at home. So again, things like this, you can really make your driving your Tesla as cheap as possible. Whereas like gas stations, you have to play a game or go to an app to see who has the cheapest gas. Here you can just click and it just tells you within the Tesla network exactly what it is. So I think that's pretty cool. The love number. Have you ever seen a number make love?
Every time it's 69, the number should get closer.
I agree. That would be hilarious. Boom, lap. So we're at 20% or 20 minutes into our charging session. Sorry, the love number threw me off there. So 6 minutes remaining, and then we'll see exactly how long this charging session we'll see how long the charging session took, and then how much it costs. So almost at 80% at 54 kilowatts, 227 miles per hour. Miles an hour is what we're charging at. Almost done. All right, $18.77, and it took 26 minutes. Now we're gonna charge the standard range Model 3, but before we do that, I wanna show you this charger from Minu Energy. As mentioned earlier, this is sponsored by Me Gear. Look at this. Thank you for your trust and support with a smiley face. How nice. So it comes with a 12-month warranty. This is their 40 amp J1772 charger. It comes with this nice case that you're able to throw in the back of your Tesla. So here's kind of a, what it looks like here. So we'll undo the Velcro. The other nice thing about this charger, it's IP65 rated for waterproofing, so it can get totally soaking wet, or this can be charging outside, and that's totally safe for your car. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it in, and I'll show you the different charging speeds that you can set through this thing for your Tesla or any EV. So the MiGear charger actually has this nice little screen here. It shows you your temperature in Fahrenheit and Celsius, how many volts, and then the current that you're running through it. And you're able to change that just with this little touch screen right here. So you're able to go all the way up, 12, 16, 24, 32, and 40 amps. So I'm gonna plug it in right now and see if it will do 40 amps. There's a rubber cover on the end here to release that. Pull off, put on our J1772 adapter. Boom. So you can see here we're pulling 40 of 40 amps and there's an hour 45 remaining, but I'm going to change it on the charger to see if it reflects it here. Now I've changed it on the charger itself, so it is again showing 32 of 32 amps and 2 hours and 20 minutes remaining to get from 57% up to 80%. And then as you can see here, we just went all the way down to the lowest setting, 12 of 12 amps. It's going to take 6 hours and 5 minutes to get from 57 up to 80%. So all of that works really nice, and you're able to set it remotely from the charger. This charger also comes with a wall mount bracket and all of the hardware that you need to do that, so you can mount it anywhere. And it's nice that the beginning part of the cable is really long, so if you mount it up high or if you have to mount it in a weird area, you have the length on the cable to do that. So again, it'll be linked in the description. MiGear, thanks for sponsoring the video. Now back to it. All right. All right, we're charging away here. Again, the increments are 5 to 10 and then 10% increments after that. So 10 to 20, 20 to 30. And then if you are familiar with like patterns and math or anything like that, you'll figure out how to get to 80. Let's see what it is. Max charging speed on this should be 170 kilowatts. We're seeing close to that right now. It'll be interesting to see if it maxes out kind of like mine did. The other thing it shows here is we recommend keeping your charge limit at 100% and charging fully once per week. That's because this is the LFP battery in the standard range Model 3, meaning it's safe to charge it up to 100%, whereas the other cars, my Model Y, for example, when I was a medical device sales rep, I would charge it to 90% every day, but now I charge it, just leave the charge limit at 80%, puts less pressure on the pack. I don't know the science as to why the LFP batteries should be charged to 100%. I don't get it, okay? But the nice thing is, yes, this does have less mileage, but you're able to charge it safely to 100%. It actually recommends that. So just another thing to keep in mind. All right, 40%. Current charge session is $6.45. All right, here, little Easter egg. Easter's coming. So you can see the window. It shows that the window's down right there. But if Andrew goes and puts it down further, it illustrates the exact position of the window. Only in a Tesla.
The love number. Ever been in love with a number?
All right, 24 minutes, 24 seconds. In comparison, 26 minutes, 29 seconds for the Model Y. So 2 minutes less. It costs about $5 less. And again, that makes sense because we put less energy into the battery. And I'll throw some charts up here so you can see the charging graph and times between the two. So here's the chart that breaks down the charging times. So you'll notice right here, the Model Y long range wins the first 4 segments. But after that, after the charging speed tapers off on the back end of above 40 to 50%, you can see that the Model 3 standard range is a lot more consistent in these higher times. So 26 minutes, 29 seconds for the Model Y long range and 24 minutes, 24 seconds for the Model 3 standard range. Plus, it costs less and it was quicker to charge, but that makes sense because we put less energy into the car. The other thing I'll say is the Model 3 standard range plus really is a solid car. It's very functional. It doesn't have the braggy numbers of the performance models or the range of the long range, but you have to think about what you're doing on a daily basis, and you normally don't need anywhere near the entire battery pack. So it's really impressive what this car can do. You're saving a ton of money buying this model. It's a lighter weight car. It's rear wheel drive. It works really well for most people. Now that I showed you the difference between the standard range and long range model, I want you to click this video right here, which will show you the difference in efficiencies based on which wheel cover we use. I think you'll really enjoy that video.